morning. Just thought I'd introduce you to the new bike. Another new bike, yes. Did the demo ride the other day on the wheels 650 V-Strom. That was my second demo ride out. If you haven't seen the video, go and have a look. It's not that exciting, but go and have a look anyway. And on the strength of that, bought this, which isn't a brand new number plate wise V-Strom. It's pre-registered. It's on a 65 plate, but it was used for the Suzuki shows, so it was used for photographic work and standing on a plinth for everyone to admire. So it's on a 65 plate, but I got it with 0 miles on it, so essentially it's a brand new bike. The reason I got this rather than a brand spanking new bike is all the optionals that came with it. A brand new XT comes out at, I think it's either 7.8 or 7.9, and with that you don't get as many optional extras. You get the rack at the back, you don't get the box or anything unless they're doing a deal. You get the rack at the back, but this one over a new one had the fitted options of the decals and tank protector and the optional, is it Vario? I don't know the make of it. Anyway, optional touring screen with obviously the wing on it, which if you see my demo video, the standard screen was just buffeting the top of my head, which was annoying at speed. Just gave you that little shudder, that bit of dirty air just getting hold of your head. This stops all that. I've put it on the highest setting. You've got 3 settings you can go on, but you have to unbolt it and move it up manually, so it's not like a 2-minute job by the side of the road. You really got to get your spanners out, which, if you're going to have an adjustable screen, make it adjustable. You know, people don't want to mess about with spanners and all the rest of it. But having said that, usually once you get your screen in position, that's pretty much where it stays anyway. So that's on the highest setting and the screen's right up, and I don't get any of the buffeting at all now. So that's an optional extra. As I say, the decal set, you don't get the engine bars on the new one anymore, and they used to be standard on the XT. I'm sure they used to be standard on the XT. You don't get them anymore on the brand new ones, and I wanted these because I'm going to be riding through the winter and the dirtiest of weather, so if it goes over I want some protection. So yeah, engine bars. The other thing they're doing now, they don't do the big aluminium underguard either. What you've got is a plastic, it's more like a screen, just comes around, gives the oil filter protection. You see that in the stupidest place in the world for an off-road bike to have an oil filter stuck straight out the front, so you need some protection. And all they do now is a plastic screen around the front, which if you're not going off-roading would be fine, I would imagine, but looks wise, and if you do go off-road, you want something a bit more substantial. This came with the under tray already fitted, the SW Motec, so it's quite a sturdy lump, that, which I wanted, so that was already on it. The pannier frames were already on it, again optional extra. What else don't you get as standard? I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it. You get the handguards as standard. I had the heated grips fitted, which done a deal with him, and he supplied and fitted them free, so that's another £150 saved. So yeah, there's my new bike, the Suzuki V-Strom 650 XT, and it's lovely. It's lovely. Grandkids have scuffed the seat up already because they do like to climb. Running in it, try that again. running it in at the moment, so it's 5,000 revs is my maximum. So today's task is to get that mileage up. I'll pop round on the wheel and book it in for its first service, hopefully next weekend. There you go. It did come with a top box as well, the aluminium top box, but it is just a square. There's no handles on it. It's not as easy to lift on and off as my Givy ones, and it had no back protector. And I've got two different Givy ones. This is my sort of commuting one, and then I've got a bigger one for me and the missus when we go away, or when we have gone away. Both of which got the back protector on, so I swapped that over. But yes, it came with that as well, all in with the price. This has cost me £7 grand. Oh, and as I say, a brand new one, brand new XT is 7.8 or 7.9, 7,009, somewhere around there. So on the price of a new bike, I've saved sort of 900 quid. And with the optional extras, I don't know how much they cost. There's got to be £1,000 worth there. So overall, a massive saving. The only thing I lose out on, I don't get traction control on this. This is the older model, which I'm not overly bothered about, to be fair. So yes, I swapped the box it came with for my Givy one, and I've put on the Oxford spinners, swing arm bobbins, so I can put it on my paddock stand for doing the chain and stuff like that. It didn't come with a centre stand, and they're like 150 quid or something, and these are 20 quid. So to me that was a no-brainer. I mean, obviously out on the road, if you're doing the longer journeys and everything, and you do break down, and that a centre stand really does come in handy, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. You can always figure something out. Yeah, but I'm loving it. Really am loving it. It really does inspire confidence. I mean, you can see from the size of the seat, it's so comfortable. And it's got the low down torque and grunt. I think it all happens, I don't really know, about 3,000 or 4,000 revs. It all comes on, so it's a lovely cruiser to go up through the gears and that. Whereas my GSXS 750, it's all happening about 9,000 or 10,000 revs. So there you go. What we've done, 274 miles. So I've got to get to 600 miles by next Saturday, which shouldn't be too much of a problem if they can book me in for my first service by then. So as I say, you don't get the traction control. It will tell you your range, average miles per gallon. You've got two trip meters in there. Obviously got the clock. I mean, it's lovely and clear on the front there. You've got your temperature. You've got your fuel gauge, which is nice rather than just a light. Time. And a lovely analog rev counter. So it's all there for you. Set out lovely and clear. And it is a beaut. It is very quiet. But that's the standard exhaust for you. And hopefully this sounds a bit better because I've got my new mic in. So yeah, as I say, I'm having a short shift at the moment with running it in. Which is okay. It's when you overtake and you've got to really plan it, because you just haven't got the amount of revs or amount of rev range to rev through a whole gear to do the overtake. So yeah, you have sort of got to plan that out. But it's a gorgeous bike, and I'm surprised just how much I'm loving it. You know, I did love it on the demo rides, and obviously that's why I've bought it. But it exceeds expectations. It's nothing outstanding. It's never going to be a MotoGP winner. I didn't buy it for a sports bike. I didn't buy it for riding fast or anything. Although it doesn't mind being hurried along. But this is the sort of thing I did buy it for. Just going exploring, going down lanes that I've never been down and having a look, see what's going on, being a nosy git, capturing some nice views, which you can't beat in England, can you, really? And this does it all. And then commuting. The one, let me think, the only downside that I've found so far is the heat. The screen is so successful at blocking the wind, you don't get any cooling effect when it's hot. Do you know what I mean? It's blocked all the wind chill from you, so when it's hot, all you get is the heat in your own little static bubble here, and then the heat off the engine. It does throw up a bit of heat, so it's a very warm bike. So on the cooler days it'll be wondrous, and through the winter obviously. Oh, I just stuck it in neutral. Not a gear of choice when you want to propel yourself along. So yeah, I've only had it about a week. So I'm not doing too bad. Oh, people are trying to kill me. So it's quite nimble, you know, having just got the GSX S750, which is a proper, what do they call it, an Apex killer or some such thing, which is amazingly nimble through the twisties. I've only had half the skill to use the bike. It's phenomenal. But then I've only had really big bikes. I had the GSX 1250, which is obviously quite a tank to throw about, and the Suzuki, not Suzuki, sorry, Yamaha XVS Cruiser, which by its sheer nature is not a beast to be thrown around. So in comparison to those, this is as nimble as something that's really nimble, other than Nimble Bread, which probably only the older viewers will remember. The stance is quite nice. Your legs are just curling back on you. They're not quite 90 degrees. You've got a bit of a reach for the handlebars, but there's room on the seat. You know, you can sit yourself a bit forward, and then you're sat bolt upright. Plenty of room for a pillion passenger on the back. The missus has sat on it and has threatened to go out on it, but time will tell on that. Obviously heard all that before. Heard all that before. Her and her stories. And as I say, all the power and the torque is down low. So what was nice in comparison to the GSX S750 is the engine braking. you've got next to none on the 750, whereas this is lovely. Apart from the road is rather shitty. Could do a traction control. Should have bought the new bike then, shouldn't you, you fool? Front wheel comes up easier on this than the GSX-S 750. Or should I say it comes up at lower revs than the 750. Let's head towards that big black cloud. As I say, I am stuck at 5,000 revs at the moment, which sort of maxes out at right, some crap all over the roads. Maxes out at 70 mile an hour, which, when you're on a 70 mile an hour road and you want to overtake, is obviously very painful. But yeah, this is fairly nimble, to be fair. You can feel it's got lumpishness. Is that a word? Lumpishness. And the camera will never do the roads justice anyway. So even if I was to go around a tight bend fairly quick, it wouldn't show it. Like this one, it's not a tight bend, but it's fairly tight. We sit around here about 60, 65, no worries. There's more there, but having come off in the wet at like 10, 15 mile an hour, it really has affected my confidence. So oh, that's a nice puddle. So yeah, in the wet, I'm as you can tell, look, it's just gone down to less than 60 because the road was moist. So there you go, there's my new bike. There's my new Suzuki V-Strom DL650 XT, and it's lovely. Highly recommend going out and having a test ride at your local dealer. As I say, it's not a master of any trade, but it's a jack of all trades. It really does fit the bill. And again, the reason I went for the 650 rather than the 1000, the 1000 sits higher, and I've got a short leg, so this was the better option for that. And again, you have to use the power on this. You know, the 1000 has got all the torque and the brake horsepower and that you just lollop along, which is fine. You know, I'd probably recommend it if you was going 2 up with luggage and doing a lot of touring work, but I'm not. So I am sort of back to basics. Where I've had the big bikes and the big torque numbers and all the rest of it, I am back to basics now, and wanting to go up and down the gearbox and get more satisfaction from riding the vehicle, actually using what it's got, using the gears and everything, rather than just lolloping along in a high gear. It's all well and good having all that brake horsepower and that, but in the real world, when are you going to use it? You don't really get that option. And as I've said before, that they can get hold of you fairly easy these days, and the fines and the bans are dished out fairly quickly as well. So taking all that into consideration, the 650, spot on. Ideal first bike. I'd say ideal first bike for someone of a height of about 6 foot, because if you're new to biking, it might just throw you the height of this, because the seat's quite wide as well. So I mean, I'm 5'10", and I can sort of tippy toe both feet, so I'm sort of comfortable leaning it onto 1 foot. But yeah, I remember in the early days of biking, it's a bit daunting. So if the height is too much for you, it might catch you out, especially on adverse cambers where you're parking up or stopping at lights or something. But yeah, ultimately, power wise and versatility wise, ideal first bike. And I am starting to think why I ever went for the GSX 1250, because these adventure bikes, as they're called, have really got a lot more versatility to them and are a lot more comfortable in the seating position and the comfort of the seat. But there you go, we all do things that we regret, and we all do things that we look back on and go, ooh, I learned from that. Of course, I've not done them either. Now I'm waffling. Anyway, there you go, that's so anyway, that's my V-Strom, my brand new 65 plate V-Strom. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can like it, you can recommend it, and you could subscribe for more. Anyway, whatever you do, ride safe and don't get caught.